Ambassador Park sat alone in the small ship taking her back to Earth. She watched the stars through a round window. Her dark eyes were tired. Small tears floated in front of her face in the zero gravity. 1 year. Humanity had just 1 year left. 3 days earlier, she had arrived at the great meeting hall of the Galactic Cooperative. 12 massive pillars held up a dome that showed the moving stars and planets of the galaxy. The hall could hold thousands, but today only the Council of Elders and a few guards were present. Park had practiced her speech for weeks. She believed she could convince them that humans deserved a place among the stars. She had been wrong. 7 different alien species made up the Council of Elders. They sat in a half circle, looking down at her. High Elder Mok's body was made of crystal that caught the light and broke it into colors. Elder Tall had 4 arms and skin that changed color with his emotions, now a deep purple of judgment. Ambassador Park of Earth, announced the recorder, a small floating robot. You stand before the Council to hear their decision regarding humanity's petition to join the Galactic Cooperative. Park bowed respectfully. Her black uniform felt too tight suddenly. The air in the chamber seemed thin. We have studied your kind for 200 years, said Elder Mok. His voice sounded like glass chimes. We have watched your wars, your pollution, your rapid technological development. And we have improved, Park said quickly. In just the last 50 years since we discovered faster-than-light travel, Earth has united. We have cleaned our oceans, rebuilt our forests. Silence, said Elder Tall, his skin darkening. You speak out of turn. Park closed her mouth, her heart beating fast. This was not going well. The 7 elders looked at each other, sharing thoughts in the silent way they had. Then High Elder Mok spoke again. Your species advances too rapidly, too aggressively, he said, his crystalline form shimmering with disapproval. Your history is written in the blood of your own kind. Park took a deep breath. This was her chance. We have learned from our mistakes, she argued. Humanity has overcome centuries of division. And replaced it with unified ambition, interrupted Elder Tull. The pattern is clear across 12,000 civilizations we have studied. Your kind cannot be integrated safely. The other elders nodded their agreement. Park felt sweat on her back. She had to make them understand. Please, she said. We come in peace. We seek only knowledge and friendship. You say this now, said a third elder, a being made of what looked like blue smoke. But we have seen how quickly humans change. Today you come with open hands. Tomorrow, you will come with weapons. Park shook her head. That's not true. The decision is made, said High Elder Mok. For the safety of all galactic life, humanity will be contained within your solar system for 1 standard galactic year. At the end of this period, your species will be removed. Park felt cold. Removed, she repeated. You mean? Your planet will be sterilized, Elder Tull said. This is mercy. Some on the council argued for immediate action. Park's legs felt weak. Billions of people. All of human history and culture. Everything would be gone in a year. You cannot do this, she whispered. It is done, said High Elder Mok. Now, as her ship approached Earth, Park prepared what she would tell the United Earth Council. How could she explain that all their hopes for joining the galactic community had been crushed? That humanity had been sentenced to death? The ship's computer beeped. Approaching Earth orbit. Preparing for descent. Park wiped away her tears. She would not show weakness when she faced Earth's leaders. There was work to do. 1 year was not much time, but humans had always been good at beating the odds. Perhaps the Galactic Cooperative was right to fear humans, Park thought. Because if there was one thing humanity did better than any other species, it was surviving when everyone said they couldn't. As Earth grew larger in her window, Park made a silent promise. The Galactic Cooperative would regret their decision. Humanity would not go quietly into extinction. They had 1 year to prepare. And they would use every second. General Du stood at the window of the United Earth Defense Command Center, watching as workers built new defense towers across Seoul's skyline. 6 months had passed since Ambassador Park returned with the death sentence for humanity. 6 months gone, 6 remaining. General, the Chinese and American representatives have arrived, said his aide. Du nodded. Show them in. The meeting room was simple. A round table with chairs. Maps and screens on the walls. Leaders from every continent sat waiting. What news from Luna Base? Asked President Wu. General Du touched a screen. A video call connected to the moon. Chief Engineer Nam appeared, her face tired. Operation Phoenix is at 70% completion, Nam reported. We've solved the power issues, but the quantum stabilizers are still giving us trouble. You have 3 months, General Du said. Not a day more. Nam nodded and the call ended. Professor Bay entered the room carrying a small metal cube. All eyes turned to her. We've made progress reverse engineering the alien navigation system we recovered from their diplomatic shuttle, she said, placing the cube on the table. We can now track their ships from twice the distance. Will it help us fight them? Asked the European representative. Bay shook her head. Their weapons are still far beyond our understanding. But we're learning. Outside the meeting room, in labs and factories around the world, humans worked without rest. In underground facilities, engineers built new ships using designs based on alien technology glimpsed during diplomatic visits. Scientists tested materials that could withstand the enemy's energy weapons. Admiral Jean walked through one such facility in the old Amazon basin. Hundreds of ships in various stages of completion filled the massive space. How many will be ready? He asked the project director. Half, maybe less, she replied. We're working as fast as we can. Jean nodded. Even if all the ships were completed, humanity remained hopelessly outmatched. That's why they needed Admiral Son's unconventional strategy. In his private office aboard the orbital station Hope, Admiral Song studied historical battles where smaller forces defeated larger ones. Thermopylae. Agincourt. Midway. His wall was covered with notes and diagrams. The aliens think like machines, he explained to Jean during their weekly call. They follow rules and patterns. We must be the opposite, chaotic, creative, unpredictable. Fighting without rules won't be enough, Jean argued. No, agreed Song. But it buys time for Operation Phoenix. Deep beneath the lunar surface, Engineer Nam supervised 1,000 workers as they built humanity's final option. The massive device would alter the very fabric of spacetime around Earth. It was dangerous, untested technology pieced together from theoretical physics and fragments of alien science. If this works, what happens to us? Asked Nam's assistant. Nam looked at the complex machinery. I don't know. No one does. Meanwhile, in a secret facility under the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Min prepared the 12 evacuation ships. Each contained frozen embryos from thousands of plant and animal species, human genetic samples, and vast databases of human knowledge and culture. If Earth falls, these ships will be our legacy, Min told the small crew selected for the one-way mission. They must reach the coordinates without being detected. The crew members, all volunteers who would never return, nodded solemnly. As the first anniversary of the Judgment approached, tension filled Earth's cities. Some people rioted or fell into despair. Others worked harder, determined to fight until the end. In the command center, General Du reviewed the latest defense plans with Admiral Song and the other leaders. We've done everything possible, President Wu said. Is it enough? No one answered. They all knew the truth. Later that night, Du found Ambassador Park on the observation deck, looking at the stars. Do you regret telling them about us? He asked. Park shook her head. We would have been discovered eventually. This way, at least we had warning. A year to prepare for the end, Du said bitterly. Park turned to him, her eyes fierce. A year to prepare our surprise. The Galactic Cooperative thinks they know humans. They believe we'll accept our fate or fight conventionally and lose. And what will we do instead? Asked Du. Park smiled grimly. What humans have always done when cornered. Something unexpected. Above them, the stars shone coldly. Somewhere out there, the alien armada was approaching. 3 months remained until Judgment Day. The first signs came as strange readings on Earth's deep space sensors. Strange patterns in the void between Mars and Jupiter. Then silence from the outpost on Europa. Captain Gill stood on the bridge of the defense station Sentinel-1, watching as the main screen showed hundreds, no, thousands, of ships entering the solar system. They're early, she said quietly. Her second-in-command checked the calendar. By 3 weeks. Earth had not finished its preparations. Operation Phoenix still needed final testing. The evacuation ships weren't all away yet. Send the alert, Gill ordered. And contact Admiral Song immediately. All across Earth, sirens wailed. People hurried to shelters. Military personnel rushed to their posts. This was not a drill. In orbit, the hastily constructed defense platforms powered up their weapons. Earth's fleet of ships, a mix of retrofitted civilian vessels and new military craft built with reverse-engineered alien technology, moved into defensive positions. All ships report ready, said Communications Officer Bach. Such as they are. Gill nodded grimly. Earth's entire fleet was smaller than what appeared to be just the advance force of the alien armada. The alien ships were beautiful in their way, smooth, silver curves that reflected the sunlight. They moved with perfect coordination, spreading out in a formation designed to surround Earth. They're hailing us, Bach reported. The main screen changed to show an alien commander. His skin was bluish-gray and hairless, with deep-set eyes that seemed to glow from within. I am Supreme Commander Rock of the Galactic Enforcement Fleet, the alien said, his words translated by computer. Your quarantine period has ended. Stand down your defenses for humane processing. Admiral Song appeared on a split screen from his command ship. This is Admiral Song of United Earth Defense. We reject your authority to end our existence. We will defend ourselves. Commander Rock's expression didn't change. Your resistance will only cause unnecessary suffering. Your technology cannot match ours. The transmission ended. For one brief moment, the solar system was silent. Then the sky caught fire. The alien weapons cut through Earth's first line of defenses as if they weren't there. Defense satellites exploded. The orbital platforms lasted only minutes longer. On Sentinel-1, Captain Gill braced as the station shook from nearby explosions. First wave eliminated, reported Captain Choi from one of the surviving ships, her voice steady despite witnessing the deaths of hundreds of her colleagues. Proceeding with scatter protocol. Earth's remaining ships dispersed in all directions, seemingly in panicked retreat. Gill watched as they fled, apparently abandoning their posts. Commander Rock transmitted across all frequencies, your resistance is both futile and irrational. Surrender now for processing. But the retreat was planned. As alien vessels pursued Earth's smaller craft deeper into the solar system, the true strategy began. Near the asteroid belt, alien ships suddenly found themselves surrounded by thousands of small, hard-to-detect mines. Explosions rippled across their perfect formation. What is happening? Demanded Commander Rock as the reports came in. Near Jupiter, human ships used the gas giant's massive magnetic field to mask their signatures, emerging suddenly to strike before disappearing again. They targeted engines and weapons systems, using their inferior firepower with surgical precision. Captain Gill smiled grimly as the reports came in. The aliens were taking losses, not many, but some. And they were confused. They're not fighting conventionally, Commander Rock observed to his senior officers, his concern growing. These humans sacrifice themselves without hesitation to damage our ships. A human transport vessel, heavily damaged, deliberately crashed into an alien cruiser rather than attempt to escape. In the outer solar system, human ships lured alien vessels into Saturn's rings, where visibility was poor and chunks of ice the size of buildings created natural hazards. They're fighting like cornered animals, one of Rock's lieutenants said. No, Rock replied. They're fighting like a species with nothing to lose. But despite these small victories, Earth's forces were being overwhelmed. The alien technology was simply too advanced, their numbers too great. One by one, Earth's defensive outposts went silent. Sentinel-2 station exploded in a bright flash. The Luna defense base lost contact after reporting they were surrounded. On Earth, people watched the night sky light up with the battles happening in orbit. Some prayed. Others held their loved ones close. In the command center beneath Mount Pictou, General Du received the casualty reports with a stone face. How much longer do we need? He asked. 2 days, came the reply from the moon. Operation Phoenix needs just 2 more days. Du nodded and opened a channel to all remaining forces. Hold them off, he ordered. Whatever the cost. On Sentinel-1, now the last orbital station still functioning, Captain Gill acknowledged the order. Prepare for direct engagement, she told her crew. We need to buy Earth time. As the alien fleet closed in around them, Gill looked at the blue planet below. It was beautiful. Worth fighting for. Worth dying for. For Earth, she said softly, as she gave the order to attack. Commander Han wiped blood from her eye as she limped through the shaking corridors of Luna Base. Alarms blared. Emergency lights flashed red. Behind her, she could hear the aliens breaking through the last defensive doors. Get to the escape pods, she ordered the remaining scientists. I'll finish here. The team had worked for months to build Operation Phoenix. Now it was their only hope. Earth's defenses were failing. The alien forces had proven too strong. Han reached the central control room and sealed the door. She knew it wouldn't hold them for long. The room was carved deep into the moon's rock. At its center sat a device unlike any humans had built before. It looked simple, a sphere surrounded by rings of strange metal, but it could change the fabric of reality itself. Through the windows, Han could see Earth. Beautiful and blue against the blackness of space. Much of it was now covered in smoke from burning cities. But humans still fought back. Han's communicator beeped. Admiral Song's face appeared, grim and tired. Status report, he said. His own ship was badly damaged, one of the few still fighting. They breached Luna Base, reported Han, ignoring the blood trickling from her temple. Evacuation complete. Operation Phoenix is armed. Song nodded. Wait for my signal. We're gathering the last ships for a final attack. From his position in orbit, Song could see the full scale of Earth's devastation. Most major cities lay in ruins, yet resistance continued from scattered bunkers and improvised shelters. Humans refused to surrender even when victory seemed impossible. On the alien command ship, Supreme Commander Rock watched the battle with growing frustration. He had expected to end this conflict in hours. Instead, it had taken days, and his forces had suffered losses. These humans are irrational, he told his officers. They continue fighting even when they have no chance of victory. His second-in-command reviewed the casualty reports. We've lost 37 ships. The Council expected 0 losses against a primitive species. Rock's skin darkened with anger. I am authorizing use of forbidden weapons, he said. End this primitive defiance. His officers looked shocked. Forbidden weapons violated the Galactic Code. They were considered too destructive, too cruel even for elimination operations. Sir, the Council, one began. Will understand when they see the reports, Rock interrupted. Prepare the planet cracker. On Admiral Song's dying flagship, alarms warned of a massive energy buildup in the alien command ship. They're preparing something big, his weapons officer reported. Song opened a channel to Luna Base. Han, they're about to hit us with everything they have. It's time. On the moon, Han heard pounding on the control room door. The aliens had arrived. She began the activation sequence for Operation Phoenix. What is this? Demanded Rock as his sensors detected impossible energy readings coming from the moon. Scan that facility. The moon began to shimmer strangely, as if it existed in more than one place at once. Light bent around it in ways that defied physics. Han watched the power levels rise as the quantum device came fully online. It was working exactly as the scientists had hoped, creating a bubble where the normal rules of reality could be changed. Where human ingenuity could overcome alien technology. The door to the control room burst open. Alien soldiers rushed in, weapons ready. Han smiled at them as she pressed the final activation button. "Too late," she said. Aboard his ship, Admiral Song opened a channel to all alien vessels. "You should have let us be," he transmitted. "This is humanity's answer to extinction." Before Rock could respond, his weapons officer shouted in alarm. "The moon is emitting energy patterns I've never seen before. It's changing the local spacetime fabric." The moon now glowed with an inner light. Its surface rippled like water. The quantum device was creating a field where humans could rewrite the rules of physics in their favor. Rock ordered an immediate attack on the moon. His flagship fired its main weapon, a beam of energy that could crack planets. But when it reached the edge of the quantum field, the energy simply bent around the moon and dissipated. "Impossible," Rock whispered. Admiral Song's flagship erupted in flames as it took a direct hit from an alien cruiser. But as his ship broke apart, Song could see the moon glowing brighter. Operation Phoenix was working. Humanity's desperate gamble might succeed. His last thought before darkness took him was of Earth, and how humans had always found ways to survive against impossible odds. On the moon, Commander Han faced the alien soldiers with defiance in her eyes. Behind her, the quantum device pulsed with energy, spreading its field farther and farther. "What have you done?" one of the aliens demanded in the translation program. "Changed the game," Han replied as the room filled with strange, beautiful light. "You brought your rules to our home. Now we're writing new ones." The quantum field expanded rapidly, engulfing the moon entirely and reaching toward Earth. Where it touched, physical laws shifted subtly. Human technology began to work in ways that should have been impossible. And deep in bunkers across Earth, the last human forces prepared for a counterattack that would shock the galaxy. Supreme Commander Rock watched in disbelief as the strange energy field spread from the moon to envelop Earth. His ship's sensors could not make sense of the readings. The screens showed impossible things. "What are they doing?" he demanded, but his science officers had no answers. The quantum field created by Operation Phoenix now surrounded the entire Earth-Moon system. Inside this bubble, reality itself seemed to bend to human will. The laws of physics rewrote themselves in ways that favored humanity's last desperate stand. On Earth, General Du stood outside his bunker, looking up at the sky. It had a strange shimmer now, like looking through water. But the alien bombardment had stopped. Their weapons no longer worked properly within the field. "Is it working?" asked President Wu, joining him outside. Before Du could answer, they saw something impossible. Ships that had been destroyed days ago appeared in the sky, phasing back into existence as if returning from another dimension. The quantum field was pulling them back, restoring them from moments before their destruction. Aboard the alien command ship, alarms blared as the sensors detected the reappearing human fleet. "This is impossible," said Rock's second-in-command. "They're violating fundamental laws of existence." Rock stared at the screens showing human ships that should be destroyed, now whole again. "All ships, concentrate fire on the moon. Destroy whatever is causing this." His fleet obeyed, sending their most powerful weapons toward the lunar surface. But inside the quantum field, the energy beams curved away or simply vanished. Some even turned back toward their sources. Back on Earth, in labs that had been working around the clock, scientists activated weapons that shouldn't possibly function. Devices that could redirect energy, that could phase matter between states, that could create localized gravity wells. In the normal universe, these would have been impossible. But inside Phoenix's quantum bubble, they worked perfectly. Small human ships, now armed with these weapons, began to attack the alien fleet. What had been a one-sided slaughter suddenly became a battle. For every human ship lost, an alien vessel was damaged or destroyed. "The humans have gone mad," Rock said, watching the battle unfold. They're risking the stability of this entire solar system. Indeed, the quantum field was growing stronger. Stars visible through it seemed to shift position. Light bent in strange ways. Reality itself protested against the manipulation. In the distant galactic core, the Council of Elders gathered in emergency session. Through their advanced monitoring systems, they watched with horror as humanity's last stand warped the very fabric of spacetime. They would destroy themselves rather than accept our judgment, said Elder Tull, his skin pale with shock. High Elder Mock's crystalline form trembled. And they might take half the galaxy with them if this field continues to expand. The council voted unanimously. For the first time in 10,000 years, they reversed a judgment. A message was sent at maximum speed to Commander Rock: cease all hostilities immediately. The extinction order is revoked. Rock received the message with disbelief. Retreat? After our losses? But as he watched another of his ships twist strangely before imploding, he gave the order. The alien fleet began to withdraw from Earth's orbit. On Earth, General Du received the communication from the Galactic Council. Stop this madness. Elder Tull transmitted. We offer immediate cessation of hostilities. Du smiled grimly. Shut down Phoenix, he ordered. But keep it ready. The quantum field slowly faded. Reality reasserted itself. The laws of physics returned to normal. But the human fleet remained. Those ships that had been restored would not be unmade. Within days, new representatives from the Galactic Council arrived. They came not with weapons but with a treaty recognizing Earth's sovereignty and revoking the extinction order. Your species has demonstrated unexpected qualities, said the new ambassador carefully. The Council wishes to establish peaceful relations. Ambassador Park, who had first heard humanity's death sentence a year ago, signed the treaty with steady hands. We accept peace, she said. But we will remember. The Galactic Code was amended with a new directive, the Earth Protocol: never corner a species willing to tear apart reality rather than accept defeat. 6 months later, the first official human delegation visited the Galactic Core. Other species watched them with a mixture of fear and respect. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not through diplomacy or technology, but through the terrifying determination to exist at any cost. As Park walked through the great hall where once she had stood alone, she thought about the nature of her species. Humans were not the strongest, fastest, or most advanced. But when faced with extinction, they had refused to die quietly. They had changed the rules of the game. The Galactic Council had learned an important lesson: some species accept fate, others fight honorably to the end. Humans, however, would break reality itself rather than surrender. And that made them the most dangerous species of all.